And are you a mental health consumer?
Yeah, I like the term survivor better for a lot of my experiences, but yeah.
So, and my next question was, do you consider yourself a survivor of the mental health system?
Deeply.
Nice. So, do you believe that you are either in a state of recovery or moving towards recovery right now?
I would say that recovery is a daily practice for me.
What is your best coping tool?
Poetry and music. My friends that have read my work and people that have seen my performances, they they like to say that the only nature I write about is the human heart, and then I'm always like, social construct.
Well, I sound like Shaggy there. Whatever. Let's see. What is the most supportive person in your life, and what did they do that was so supportive?
You know, there's been so many different people that it's hard to just choose one. I've had, I've just had so many friendships that have been really healthy, and I think that's like the biggest thing, is just having healthy friendships with people who take me for who I am and treat me like I'm okay because I am, you know, and just view me as a person. Okay, we're gonna have to edit this up.
Don't even worry about it. Go ahead.
I think that the most support I've gotten from people around me has been the healthy friendships that I've had, where I've been considered awesome for just who I am, not expected to conform to any particular idea of what somebody should be, because I don't do conformity well.
So, let's see. What was the turning point in your path to recovery?
I've had a few, and honestly each of them has been tied to a pretty major relapse. Just getting to that point where I felt like there was nothing left, like there was no way I could handle whatever it was I was going through, and kind of just finding that moment and just going, okay, I really need to do this, I really need to get on this because I've got too much else to do in my life.
Cool. So, let's see. If you could go back and talk to yourself at the lowest point, one of the lowest points in your life, what do you wish you could say to yourself?
I think that I would say that every so often you're going to look back at this and trip out on where you are versus where you were.
So the I Got Better campaign is all about people that are at that lowest point. What is something that you wish that you could say to those individuals that are feeling so hopeless right now?
I think one of the really helpful things that I would recommend is the Icarus Project, like the one who flew into the sun. And the reason I really like that is it's helped me a lot as far as coming to respect myself for who I am, as opposed to dealing with like, oh, I've got this label and it screws up my life. The concept goes from mental illness to mad gifts. And that's really helped me to integrate a lot of the differences that I experience and find new ways to approach situations to where I can have a lot better relationships, which is really, really helpful. And the other thing is that, you know, one of the other ways that I've really gotten a good chance to recover has been just to do one little thing that I needed to do, and then one little more. It's like, I hate to be cheesy, but really it's like the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step is real. Like, just take that little step, and then put the next foot up, and then put the next foot up. You'll get there. What is the
Icarus Project?
The Icarus Project is a fairly queer-centric radical mental health. Don't worry, if you're not queer, it's okay to use it too. It's a radical mental health organization that's completely run by people who have mental health diagnoses or experience differences along that line. It's really active in colleges, and it's actually starting to move into general communities as well, which is great.
Cool. yeah, Mind Freedom is really close with the Icarus Project.
Mind Freedom, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite things is there's a zine that's something like stress, distress, and depression or something like that. That's all about like learning to cope with those challenges. I don't remember the exact name, but it's all about learning to cope with those challenges and move forward.
Great. What are some of the things that, did I ask you what are some of the things that you do when you feel you're slipping back from your recovery?
No. I actually have what's called a Wellness Recovery Action Plan, or WRAP, that reminds me what I look like at different stages. So like, what do I look like when I'm healthy? What do I look like when I'm slipping? What do I look like when I'm really sick? And it also has reminders of the things that make me feel better. And believe it or not, like, sensory experiences are a big deal for me. So I go tanning and I'm not ashamed. Or just eating food that's just really good as far as texture, taste, whatever. I'm normally really careful with what I eat, and that's actually part of my wellness. But you know, if I'm feeling bummed and I just need some comfort, sometimes I have to just go ahead and have that pizza, and it's fine.
So you talk about WRAP, you talk about Icarus Project. How did you connect to these? Where did you find these? How'd that work?
Well, the Icarus Project was something that a lot of my friends in the queer community had alerted me to. And actually, some of them that were involved in student organizing when I went to the Evergreen State College actually brought Kiyoki, I think it's Kiyoki from the Heart Collective, as well as Ashley Jax McNamara, who is one of my personal heroes, one of the founders of Icarus Project, and did a presentation on emotional and relationship wellness at the college. The WRAP plan I actually came across at Capital Recovery Center, which is the first completely consumer-run community mental health agency in the nation, which is awesome.
In the nation!
In the nation!
Perfect.
For those who like that sort of thing.
Yes. Let's see. What is your hope for the mental health system in the future?
Lower stigma, higher access, and much more prevalence of peer support.
Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Don't be afraid to choose your own path. Don't be afraid to decide what works for you. Don't let other people tell you what your recovery and what your wellness looks like.
Cool. Thank you.